The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. Welcome to the third to the last day of the year's show. Today we have the mystery guest will be none other than Arch Crawford of Tucson, Arizona, Crawford Perspectives. Tomorrow we'll have Shane Smulyan, and on Thursday we are going to have a very special mystery guest, and on Friday it will be Ben Bernanke in the flesh. Okay, now we're closed that day, boys and girls. Let's take a quick look here at the FTSE. You'll see we had a real explosive move here in the FTSE today. The news evidently coming out of the Brexit things is getting better and better, even though the people in the news say it's not even close to being done. You pick your choice, whoever you want to believe, but that's what it's showing here in the charts. You got more buyers and sellers in the FTSE. You're making a very nice ABCD completion up here. And if we take a look at the German DAX, which is also, over in Europe. Gee, what a big surprise that is, Larry. You're really giving a lot of information today. And well, let me see. The German DAX, that must be from, from Germany. Anyway, you'll notice here we also have a very nice ABCD pattern here doing, the usual up and down moves. Lots of volatility, folks, and we get that this time of the year more than most times because of the fact that a lot of traders are taking the taking the last few weeks off. I'm usually don't work during the month of December for many years, but the fact is that there's still enough volume to see it. There'll probably be a lot less volume on Thursday, being the day before the New Year's Eve, and many people really love to celebrate that. So we are going to see some things that are interesting. Now, we do have a pattern that we're looking at here over the past several weeks that we need to be watching here today in the Dow Jones. If you do like patterns, and I know some of you do, you'll notice here that we have a three drive to a top pattern, as you can see here. We also have a nice little butterfly forming up here at 30,500. But if you'll notice that final ABCD there where the question mark is, and that's the 1.27 expansion, it will come in at 30,750. So you got a shot at another 250 points in the Dow. So that's you don't want to risk 250 points in the Dow. That's not too kosher in my opinion. But right now would be the time. If you're going to do it, you just put your stop at 30,650. So you only have to risk just a few $100s as opposed to risking 1,250. That's what you really want to do. This is all about risk control, folks. You make your predictions, you take your choice, and you go on to the next one. That's really all you can do. And since we're talking about that, yesterday I told you that we were watching a trade that looked very, very interesting here. We'll get it up here. This was the Apple. We were looking for it to get up to that 135.89. Fortunately for us, it was able to do that, and it did it in spades because we've made it all the way to the 1.618 expansion, folks. Let's get up here because that's where the stop has got to be. You got to risk 3 points, and the way that's figured now is you've got a stock that's trading for 135. You take 2% of that. That figures out to almost exactly $3 a share. And so you add $3 a share to the 135. That gives you to 138.89. And that's where your sell stop is. It's trading at 138.10, I believe, right now. So if you get hit on that one, you're going to be out, and you'll just move on to the next one. And we'll move back to using the 5, 18, 46, and 98 moving average system that I've used so often in the past here at TFNN. All righty. Now we need to cover something that is on everybody's mind, and I don't know how it's going to rectify itself, but it's the situation that we have going on in the gold market. And I think the easiest way to look at it, this gold market's not going to go anywhere Thanks, folks. It's not going to go anywhere until we get above this 43 or 44 level. You see, we're in a really strong downtrend here in the GDX ever since the high was made back there, on July the 29th. And we see we've had lower tops the whole way through here. I mean, it just keeps coming down. And yesterday we had lower tops again. And so this is not telling us that this gold is ready to go yet. We're still looking for one more pullback, hopefully now below 1,800 one more time, and then we're going to be able to watch it. Remember the last few years, 16, 17, 18, and 19, we had a nice bottom in the gold. So it's 4 years in a row. That itself doesn't mean it's going to work the fifth year, but that's something that we're looking at. All we're trying to do here, folks, is to line up these patterns where you don't have to risk very much, and with a probability of better than 50%. We do better than 50%, but your probability on most of these is above 50%. 3 drive to a top pattern, 3 drive to a bottom. Those are in the neighborhood of 80%. Butterflies, about 75. Gartley's about 70, 75. And the ABCDs at around 55. So, but they're all predictable, and you can make money off of them. But the whole thing is you got to know how much you're going to risk. The real trading starts. This was the old joke that we had, back in the days of Drexel. The real trading starts is when you hang up the phone. Well, you used to have to call in your orders just to go. So you put your phone down, and that would be, that when the start of the trade starts, because you just say, okay, how do I get out of the trade? It's an old movie that I really like, Knock on Any Door by John Derrick. This is where the Navy SEALs get their motto, live fast, love hard, die young, and make a good-looking corpse. And in that movie, John Derrick says, I never go into a room. He's a private detective, by the way. He says, I never go into a room until I see 2 ways of getting out of the room. So that's what you call major paranoia, but that's detective stuff. Unless you guys are in the 007 community club like I am, you don't understand the real thing about being a ninja warrior and stuff like that. And if you believe any of that, I still have 4 shares of the Brooklyn Bridge. I have to ask the question because did I tell the story about, someone asked me the story about the, yes, he married Bo Derek, and before that he was married to Ursula Andress, and after that it was Linda Evans. Stop and think of this for a minute, folks. He was married to Bo Derek, number 10, of course, Ursula Andress, the original Bond girl, and Linda Evans, from the Big Valley. Now those are 3 number 10s. Can you imagine the second place finishers in his repertoire? It must have really been something. I met him once at the farmers market in Los Angeles. I used to go there every Wednesday to pick up fresh fruit from Esther, and she would have a nice little basket. And one day I'm there, and she's waiting on this couple, and she leaves them and comes over to me, and she says, just a minute. And I said, well, take care of that other couple. And it was Bo Derek and John Derek. And she had a baseball cap on, a Dodger cap, and they were just as friendly as could be. And he said to her, well, this guy must really be important. And she said to him, no, he's not important. He says, 2 little girls, those are the 2 important ones. So anyway, that the few times that I met, but I don't think I told this story. Well, I'll tell it when I get back. 877-927-6648.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. Do you have broken or unwanted jewelry, diamonds, watches, coins, silverware, and other collectibles that you would like to turn into cash? Tiger Precious Metals and Stones will pay fair market value. We make it easy to turn your precious metals that are sitting around in your house into cash. Call Andy now at 727-329-8245 and he will walk you through our safe and secure process. Andy has been in the business buying and selling precious metals for over 15 years. Call Andy now at 727-329-8245.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, someone asked me a question. What was one of my most memorable days at the racetrack? And it wasn't about any amount of money that I made. It was 1986. 4 years after I had left Drexel, and we had gone to Santa Anita. Bob Gilmillion, my friend and the coin dealer I did so much business with, had a horse running that day. And so we had a nice table set up. We had a round table. Most of them were square, but we had about 8 people supposed to be there. And it was raining that day. And but his horse was running, and so we got there early. And sitting at our table was, as usual, was Don Knotts, from Andy Griffith's show, and also was Tim Conway, and then Byron and I sat down. And of course, he had never met these guys before, and he was really thought it was kind of cool. And then Walter Matthau came in, and he was a very good friend of Tim Conway and also Don Knotts. And so we were all sitting there, and then all of a sudden in comes a Drexel executive from New York that was visiting. And it was really quite amazing, because I said, oh my God, what do we do now? So I went over to Ruben, the maitre d', and I said, Ruben, how are we going to cover this? He said, see, he'll probably want to set with some some celebrities. He said, let's try it out. So he took him over, and he said, would you mind sitting at this table, because they have their horse running today, and the executive was John Coughlin. He was the head attorney for Drexel Burnham, and his wife was a big fan of Don Knotts. And I don't think she knew who Tim Conway was, but everybody knew, Walter Matthau. Anyway, we had a really great day. It was fun. Bob's horse actually won, and he invited all of them to come down and take a picture in the winner's circle. And oh my God, that was really something. And the good part about all this was I didn't have to pick up the check. Mr. Coughlin from New York picked up the check. And anyway, it was a real fun day. Hold on one second, boys and girls. My limit minder is going crazy here, and it is because of the natural gas. It's moving up a little bit, which is good. We are now setting at the 382, folks, in the natural gas. I'm going to bring this up here. We had this big break yesterday, if you remember. Now we've rallied back. We're not anywhere near the gap area. The gap is way up there at 252, but right now at 239 and change, that's a 382 retracement of the high that we made back on the right before Christmas. So it's very important to watch it here. We need to get it above 241, and maybe the trend will change. But this is the kind of trade that if you're in a trade and you were stuck, boy, this is your chance to get out of it. In other words, if you were long and didn't get out when it went all the way down to 226, you've saved $1,300, and now you got a chance to get out of it. The other alternative is it might go straight up from here, and that's a risk you have to take. But these are the ones that you're trading certainly with the short-term trend and the longer-term trend here by taking a look at the short side of natural gas here today as we're watching this. Okay, now I had another question about the gold market. Folks, I'm basing the gold market to the fact that it's making lower highs all the way through here, exactly like we're doing in silver, and even platinum's doing the same thing. So it's not running away from the upside. So you have to be patient, and you're going to try to be able to find an entry place here within the next couple of weeks. We got this week's coming in is very lightly traded. Then we've got next week, which is going to be pretty interesting because we have another big lunar event coming in at must be around the we got Norm coming in on the 12th. So that means we're probably going to have a new moon around that time, and he'll be talking to us about that. So we'll do that as we go through and look at some of these other things that we're watching. One other question that someone's asking, how did I calculate the risk on the Apple? And all I did was, folks, if you're only risking 2% on the price of the stock, and it's real simple, just take the price of the stock. Let's say it's a $45 stock. 2% of that is basically 90 cents. You figure $1. So you can trade 50 of those stocks, 50 in a row, and still be in the game. I mean, and you're not going to lose 50 times in a row. Nobody does that. Well, there's probably somebody, but those are the ones that you just figure out what it's doing. And within commodities, it's different because we have the advantage of using harmonic numbers, because these numbers, bounce around so much. We know the numbers in gold, silver, bonds, S&P, all of those, and that's how we determine what these risks are. And you try to be right as close to 60% of the time as you can. And and what I do is when I'm doing the 24/7 is I pick and choose, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are A, skeptical, and B, undercapitalized. So I've got to be very careful to what I use. I do the S&P and the Dow. I don't do the NASDAQ very often. We did one this year that worked, well, two of them actually worked pretty good. One of them we gave way back too much money, but it still turned out okay. But if you keep your losses relatively small, you're going to be all right. Now, too small is also another problem, because if you put your stops too close, if you're trading a $45 stock and you're using 30 cents, that's in the flutter of the market, folks. That's not going to help you, using a 30-cent stop. You're going to get knocked out of that, not because they're looking for your stops. It's just a normal bid and offer. And with algorithmic trading that we have out there, you have to factor that in, because it's a big deal. At least, for me it is, just watching it, But right now the markets are acting very normal. I showed you that Dow chart. It's nothing spectacular. Climbing a wall of worry is nothing new. Folks, you want to talk about climbing a wall of worry? The Great Depression, the market bottomed on July the 8th, 1932. Now, you talk about climbing a wall of worry. We were in a major depression until World War II started in December the 7th, 1941. And, of course, the market had been rallying since 32, and it hasn't stopped rallying, folks. I mean, we've had bear markets where it's backed off 50, 80, 90%, but it's still been higher highs and higher lows ever since that time. So, whatever out there in the news is in the market. The news follows the trend, and that's what you're looking at. Probably what will happen is the virus will go away and everything will look absolutely bullish. It'll look like nothing's ever going to stop it again, and it'll turn on a dime and give back 62 or 75 or 80% of the whole move that we've had here. So you've got to be prepared in that. That's what being a technician is you've got to look at the chart and say, okay, they can give you misinformation, they can cheat you, they can hide from you, they can't hide from you, because you've got lower prices, there's more selling. If you have higher prices, there's more buyers. That's what you have to look at. So that's what I try to do. And right now, the gold is telling me that we're not looking at higher prices as of yet. Now, if we get a day where we're up $50 and it closes really strong and has some follow through the next day, then you've got game. That thing could really go and off to the races. But we're not seeing that yet. So those are just a few of the things. And many of the commodities, even the grains now, have backed off a little bit. We've had a very interesting situation in those. They've been straight up as Mr. Z's been involved with them. But for the first time now, the weather's starting to break in Argentina and in Brazil. And so the grains have sell off a little bit, 50 cents in the beans and about 8 cents in the corn and 20 cents in wheat. So we'll be right back, folks, with Arch Crawford of Crawford Perspectives.
Larry Pesavento watches the markets 24/7, and now is a great time to try out his daily trading service, Fibonacci 24/7. Larry publishes videos and charts for subscribers throughout the week when warranted, and every weekend he puts out a thorough report covering worldwide markets, futures, commodities, and currencies with Fibonacci retracement levels, possible trading setups and zones, and stops and targets for all recommendations included. Larry applies the principles he's developed over decades of trading while analyzing a variety of markets for subscribers. To see for yourself the types of videos, charts, and analysis that Larry provides for his subscribers, sign up for Fibonacci 24/7 today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. You'll also gain instant access to Larry's archived subscriber webinar from earlier this year. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today. If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we have Arch Crawford of Crawford Perspectives on the air, Tucson, Arizona. Arch, how are you doing today?
It's too early to tell. I think I'm all right.
Yeah, well, same way with me. The jury's still out. Arch, we have two questions for you. One is, have you ever seen a market that has taken so much bearish news and just keeps going up and up and up as regarding the stock market?
Well, I was reading this weekend, and there was one comment that said that this has gotten wilder than it ever was in 1929.
Well, that's certainly possible. My goodness, we had 2,100 car companies back then in September of 1929. So I guess anything's certainly possible. Is there anything that you're looking at as far as a potential turning point in the future that related to cycles, or your specialty happens to be astrology? Are you looking anything in the near future?
Well, the big probability of a turn date was the 21st, and of course the end of the year, the last week of the year, tends to be the best week of all on average. So I would give it the rest of this week, which is 3 more days, or 2 more days.
Yeah, that's right. Wow.
And after that, I wouldn't bet too heavily on the upside, and I might be slipping some shorts in early, either end of this week or early next week.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're way overbought than we ever have been in history.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's any question of that. I mean, it's been straight up since March 23rd, and before that, it was straight up. Arch, remember back in 2000, 9/11, you and I were on the phone when the first plane hit, and and shortly thereafter, you called me right back, and you said the Pentagon's been hit, and CNBC didn't know that for 20 or 30 minutes. I mean, that was that just one of your customers that had called you to tell you that, or how did you get that information?
I don't actually remember, but I did have a lot of people calling and conveying information on that day. Mm-hmm. It was a wild and crazy day.
It certainly was. And of course, the market was closed for, I think, 6 days after the event. And then when it finally opened, it had a really good rally and then proceeded to go down for another 6 weeks before it finally made its bottom, I believe, sometime in December of 01. In 2011, but 1991. Anyway, if you were to make an this is another question someone's brought up. If you were to make an evaluation of what you're looking at as far as the fundamentals of some of these stocks like Tesla and Amazon and some of the others, these are numbers that we've not seen before. Tesla's $3,000 a share based on the old split. That's just totally amazing. Plus, so many others are the same way.
Well, it's totally crazy, but it always ends badly, and I would think that the main turning points are like in the past week, this week, and next week. So I would expect a significant downturn in the next few days.
Okay, that's close enough. Now, we have a new moon coming up around the 12th, I believe, of January, and the 13th. There's some other things happening. When you do your timing for your hotline and stuff, are you heavily influenced by the new moons and full moons?
Of course, I keep an eye on them. Definitely.
Okay, now what do you mean by keeping an eye on them? That's the second question that the person's going to ask.
Well, they frequently do turn out to be turning dates within 2 or 3 days, 2 days on either side. That happens a lot.
Okay, so basically you could say, well, you're expecting a top, but it might be a bottom, because it could sell off 5 days really fast into that lunar event.
Well, I would say today is the 29th, and the full moon is tonight. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's correct, yes.
At about 9 Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say we are at a turning point, give or take, 1 or 2 or 3 days max.
Mm-hmm. Well, that gets you through the holiday into early next week then. So I think if a person would wanted to do something, it was wait till Monday and see what happens. That way your risk would be as small as possible, I would think.
Well, yes, it's so volatile. I wouldn't want to do a lot of risk, but I'd say that the risk is on the market going down here.
Mm-hmm.
After the turn of the year, anyway.
Yeah, because the statistics for the market from November to May are very, very positive. So, but we've seen, well, last year, look what happened. We made a top in January. We dropped straight down into March. It was one of the biggest sell-offs we had. Well, it was the biggest sell-off of the year. I mean, that was a huge drop.
It was the fastest sell-off we have ever seen.
Yeah,
the 3 days that it was really tanking.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now regarding the gold market, that's one of your specialties, Art. You've been a gold timing master for many years in Timers Digest, and we're sitting here at around 1880 an ounce, with the high being 2060. Do you have any upside projections on gold for 2021 and beyond?
Boy. Well, I would say we hit the high in early August, and we have been in a corrective phase since then, but we have lost a relatively small amount of the rally.
Mm-hmm.
So
correct.
I would say that's still a very positive sign.
Yeah, I agree with you. That we've lost it's been pretty much 6 months, and we've held up relatively well, still being within $200 of the old high. The last time we had one of those, it was about a 380-point drop, and then we made new highs. So I'm very bullish to gold. I'm just waiting to see, what I'm hoping for, and which is a terrible trading word, is to see if we can pull back one more time to that $1,800 level, and maybe even $1,750, which we made, and then take a look at it from that point. But the gold miner index, I talked about it earlier this morning on the show, certainly doesn't look bullish. My goodness, it's actually been in a bear market since August and has made far, far lower lows than we've seen in the gold. So until these miners start to show some life, I don't think that because you can't have a really good market in the cash gold without the gold miners moving up, can you, Arch?
Hardly. I would say, though, that the problem is with the dollar, so that in dollar terms it's going to go up more than in some other currency notations.
Well, that's for sure. The whole world is bearish the dollar now. We heard that on the early part of the show when Tommy O'Brien was on, that this is the highest level of bears that we've seen in the U.S. dollar ever. Hey, Arch, thanks for joining us, buddy. Happy New Year to you, and we'll have you on again soon, okay?
Thank you very much. Delighted to be here.
Thank you very much.
Corporate perspectives. Remember, corporate perspectives.
I'll bring it up when we come back. See you later.
Thank you.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. Are you looking to buy or sell gold, silver, platinum, coins, or bullion? We can help. At Tiger Precious Metals and Stones, we specialize in the buying and selling of gold, silver, as well as collectible U.S. and foreign coins. We not only buy your unwanted or broken jewelry, but you can trade that in for gold and silver coins too. Call Andy now at 727-329-8245 for a quote over the phone and to lock in the current market price. Call us now at 727-329-8245.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The Bull Bear Trading Hour with Tom and Tommy O'Brien. Next.
Okay, by the way, folks, if you want Arch's letter as a sample, it's Crawford Perspectives. And you just put in Arch Crawford. He's everywhere on the internet, so it'll get out to you. And anyway, we'll have him on again early in 2021. Gee, I can't even believe I'm saying that. Holy cow. I did my first trade in 1959. Boy, that's been a long time, boys and girls. Okay, now I put up the chart of Alibaba. Sarah has been following this stock ever since Jack Ma started many, many years ago. This is going back, 2003, 2004 over in Hong Kong. And he was just a young guy getting started and a very bright fellow. But you'll notice here with the stock itself, it's had this big gap now. That's because the Chinese government has decided to make him a little bit of an example because he got a little too powerful. Or what did he do? Oh, the first trade I ever bought was a little stock called Elastic Stop Nut. My uncle told me to buy it. I needed to buy a car. And I was a sophomore in college, and I needed a car to drive back and forth from the hospital because I worked as a scrub nurse down at St. Anthony's Hospital there in Terre Haute. And he said, buy this stock. He gave me $400. And I went in and I went there to the Merrill Lynch office there at 7th and Wabash and put my $400 on red, and that was to buy the stock. I bought 200 shares, I believe, and about 6 or 7 weeks later, it was bought out. It's the very first little plastic nuts and bolts, folks. That's what they made. They made plastic nuts and bolts, and they were taken over immediately by somebody. That's what the whole thing was about. And I got back my $800, gave my uncle the other $400 back, and I bought myself a 49 Mercury convertible. Boy, was that a nice little car. I wish I still had it. Yeah, plastics. That goes back to the graduate for sure. I don't know what they'd tell you now. They would probably say, they would say artificial intelligence or something like that, or drones or whatever. Okay, anyway, that was my very first trade, and I've done a lot since those. But I empathize what you went through here with the natural gas. Mr. Z, he was long that, and of course he posted it Sunday night right away that things were going to be excuse me for interrupting here. I'm trying to read something and I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. But if you're going to do something like that, and you get your money out of it, like I did with that, you buy it and then you forget it. I didn't do another trade for several years. That probably was until I had a little bit of money, and then I had a stock account. I don't even remember what the commission was. My gosh, I percentage-wise, it was probably quite a lot, but that's been so long ago. My goodness, that's 62 years ago. That's way beyond my memory thing, but I don't think it was very much, probably $40, $50. I can't actually remember. All I know is my net was $800 and something, so it was pretty good. Anyway, those are just a few of them, but boy, I've been, folks, I have been the luckiest person in the whole darn world when it comes to this stuff. I mean, I could have made a lot more money along the way, but to live the life that I've lived and been everywhere that I wanted to be and the people that I've met, and my goodness, I mean, the number of people that I would not like to see, I can count on one hand with 3 of the fingers being gone. There's just a few people that I've met that I wouldn't want to ever see again. But other than that, I mean, my goodness, there's some people here in the den here are like family to me. And I'm very happy about that. So it's very, it's just been very, very rewarding. And, and in fact, let me tell you something. I talk to Larry Williams all the time by email, and Larry is getting ready to retire. And this was Christmas Day. I sent it back to him. I said, "You're going to retire and do what?" And he said, "I'm going to feed pigeons and, and read obituaries." And I fired back at him. I said, "Yeah, right. That'll last all of 2 weeks." And sure enough, whatever happened was, he'll certainly come back. But he's just too busy to do that. He doesn't really like to do that stuff anymore, Duffy. So that's mainly the reason. I asked him twice, and he asked me not to ask again. So I said, that's fine. He said he would ordinarily like to do it, but he's just enjoying the holidays now. And he maybe after the first of the year, when he has a little time, he'll probably do it. He's a very generous guy, so and he's very entertaining. Gosh, he's a great magician, and he certainly knows the markets as good as anybody. And just he's an icon in this business. He's actually 2 years younger than me, and that's been a long time. I met him in '65, the same time that I met Twentyman. We were all trading through the old offices there of Roy Longstreet's, oh gosh, what's the name of that? I can't even remember the name of Roy Longstreet's firm now. Oh dear, that's another sign that I'm slipping a little bit. Okay, let's move. What was the name of Roy Longstreet's firm right there? And it's in Missouri. It's not Crawford, Missouri, but what is the name of it? Oh dear, this is something. Well, this is what happens when you read too much, and it has a lot of memories go by. Okay, yeah, right. Everybody's younger than me. I don't know, how old are you? Clayton Commodities. Yes, Clayton Commodities. That's exactly what it was. Thank you. Conti Commodities was across the street. That didn't start until 1968. But what I'm trying to do here is to add some information to you so you get an idea of some of the things that are going on. Someone asked me, am I going to try to pick at the top in the market? Hey, I try that all the time, folks. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But picking at top is no big deal. I mean, it's better. It's better in this particular market is watch and see when we get a first 38% retracement in this market. We had one just about 2 weeks ago, back on the 14th of December. If you remember, we had a beautiful ABCD down there at 34.50, I believe was the number. And look what it did. It's screamed up another 300 points. So there's money on both sides of this. The longs can make money, the shorts can make money, and the pigs always get slaughtered. But those are just a few of the things that we're going to be picking along. Picking a bottom is no different than picking top. The reason why bottoms are harder to pick than top, Stuffy, is because fear is a greater emotion than greed. Fear has physical attributes that greed doesn't have. When you have fear, you have dilated pupils, you have a heart rate that's increased, you're sweating. I mean, all the diaphoresis, all those things are happening. Whereas with the high being made, you're sitting back saying, oh man, this is so easy. All I got to do is listen to TFNN and I just buy this and write it up for 5,000 points, and it's so easy. But by golly, that's not the case. Marshall's pointing in there that the 3 drives to a top is really good. Look at the picture in Alibaba. I mean, look at that chart so closely, folks. You talk about a perfectly symmetrical chart. You make a perfect ABCD pattern where the AB leg is equal to the CD leg in both price and time. What does it do? It breaks down really badly. And what does it do? It rallies up to the 3-8 38% retracement, and then goes down and makes the 1.618 expansion after the gap down. You can't make this stuff up. And since we're talking about that, I wanted to share one other one for you today that looks interesting. This market has been very, very bullish for a long time, but this is the first time now that we've actually seen the 382 retracement that came in here at 617 last night in the wheat. Didn't have to risk more than a nickel at that point. It started to work a little bit. So, the most you're risking to be a farmer there is 5 cents. And it's got a potential of 35 cents. So those are the kind you want. See? 877-927-6648.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step-by-step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, we're back. I've also reposted that chart of the Dow Jones. Now, if you want to see a 3-drive to a top pattern, there's a really nice one there. It's quite symmetrical, high to high. It's got a nice expansion there. I mean, that's basically the pattern. You're trading at, 30,500 in the Dow Jones. So your risk there is roughly about 100 Dow points for $500 with the E-mini. So if you wanted to take your shot at that, then just take a look at it. So I'm not giving that as a recommendation, but that is a nice little pattern. It's no different than any other. If I had to do one pattern today, it would have certainly been looking at that Apple, because there's a 1.618 expansion there that we made, and missed our stop by 10 cents so far, but that doesn't mean it's not going to go back there and get it. But we'll see if it does that. These are only patterns, folks. They're good for predictability. They have a very good probability of repeating over and over again. That's what Dr. Andrew Lowe did when he looked at his book, The Evolution of the Commodity, Evolution of Chart Analysis, and the Evolution of Technical Analysis. Let's give the book correct title. And that's really what you're looking at. You're just trying to get an edge. I don't use oscillators or any types of moving averages. Some people are very good at using those. I'm not one of those people. I basically tried to get down to a point where I think I got a really good chance at it, where the odds are in my favor. The win-reward ratio is better than 3-to-1, and then I just do it and then go on to the next one. I have periods where I don't make many profits, and then I have periods where I can't do anything wrong. But that's the whole instance, is you just don't know when those periods are going to go and when they're going to stop, because that's the big unknown in trading. The only one that knows that is God, and she doesn't trade as often as she used to. Now, tomorrow we're going to have Shane Smolian as our guest, and we'll certainly be watching. Yes, the Russell has been, that's a very key one to watch here, Duffy, because the Russell started down heavily. With the market up big yesterday, the Russell got hit really bad, and that's been the leader of the pack. That's one of the signs you want to look for. That's market feedback. So if you're going to sell anything, sell the Russell. That's the weakest. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. On the flip side, 877-927-6648.